We are on MVC part of Laravel. We know that views and controllers are situated inside Laravel. So views are inside resources and controller inside app HTTP. And we still need to learn about the model. But before going into the model, we need to learn some of the basic things to understand the model and the working of the model properly. In this episode, we are going to see how we can run a raw SQL query. Why I'm saying raw SQL? Because Laravel has a eloquent ORM, and we are going to talk about eloquent in the next episode. But let's see how we can interact with the database by writing our raw query, which we are familiar with, like select everything, insert into kind of things. So we have done this view part. That means if I go to localhost :8000/users, we have this welcome home page. And from where it is coming from route web. So web.php file having this route, and it says whenever user hit /user, then we will go to user controller. Inside we have an index method, so we will call that, and we have a user controller, so you can go app HTTP controller and user controller, and here you can see we have this index method. We are returning this view, and that's why we are getting welcome home. How we can run a simple query to insert something into the database, and in this database we can see we have users table which is empty. So for that we will going to use some DB kind of thing, and we call it facade. And what is facade we will see later, but if you go here inside the Laravel documentation, then you can go inside this database part. Then you can see we have a getting started, so it's giving all the information of the database, but query builder is here, and here we can see we have this DB facade. So by using this DB facade, or you can think about this DB as a simple DB class, so we can use this DB class. So let's say DB, it's database, and use it at the top, then colon, and how we can insert. So again, go to documentation, search for insert, and here we have. So we can say DB table user and insert this thing. But I don't want to do this. I want a simple raw query. So let's search here DB insert, and we have this getting started, and then DB insert. So we can write our familiar SQL query. So then insert, and we want to insert into users table, and in the field we need to define here, which will be like name, email, password, and then comes the values. And for the values you need to define question mark, and then give a comma inside array. Then you define every field. So name is Sarthak, email is sarthak@bitfumes.com, and then password is password. So what's going to happen? Let's see. If we go here, if we refresh this page, no error, and if I refresh this database, you can see we have this one field where we have a name, email, and password. That's very nice. We have created a insert part into the database. Cool. So how we can fetch something like select everything from user, and I think you know, if I just comment this, and then I can say DB : and this time I need to do select query. So I say DB select, and then the raw SQL we know, select everything from users, and let's grab the users here, and then we can say return users. So I will go here, refresh this page, and you can see we have this users data where we have a name, email verified at null, password which is a just string. But don't worry about that, because we are not going to use this insert query in Laravel. We will use the eloquent model which do the encryption itself. So we have done that. Now it's time to do a next thing, which is update. So again, if you go here, you can see we have an update part. So how we can update now? We need to go here and just comment this, and then we can simply say db colon colon, and this time it is update, and we need to say update users set name is equal to bitfumes, because currently the name is Sarthak, so bitfumes, then where id is equal to 2, because id is 2. Okay, so now we can use this select query to show that everything is done correctly. So we are updating, and then we are again fetching everything and then showing the users. So let's go here and refresh this page, and now it says unknown column bitfumes. This is something weird. So what we can do else, we can say here question mark, and then we can define bitfumes here. So we are saying name is equal to, here comes the value which we define here. So let's once more refresh this page, and now it is updated to bitfumes. And this is the way you can update. So now we have updated. This time we need to do the delete part. So db, and this time I think you got the idea, and you can just predict this thing. So delete everything from users where id is equal to 2, and then we will select do the select query. So you have error in syntax check, so I think this asterisk will not going to work here. And yeah, by removing the asterisks, we can see we don't have anything here. And this is the way you can do all the CRUD part, that means create, read, update and delete with the raw SQL query. But this is not the simple way of writing the queries in a controller. We need to have a separate function for each queries. But it's time to move into the Eloquent, because the best thing to interact with the database is Eloquent. And now comes our model. So you are waiting for the model of MVC, and this time in the next episode, when we will go and talk about the Eloquent, we will talk about the model and how the model is interacting in the Laravel and how it is very useful thing.